Good morning. It's day 15 today. I almost didn't go this morning. I was so tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I was awake since like 2 in the morning. It took everything to get out of bed. It really helps to have a supportive partner because my girl came in the room and said, "Hey, you gotta get up. You gotta go running." And I looked at her and said, "Nah, I think I'm just gonna run tonight." And so she reminded me of all the reasons why I hate running at night. So here I am, ready for my daily. All right, here we go. See you in a little bit. Hey guys, I'm back. One more day down. You know, I want to just take a second and acknowledge the significance of having someone who is supportive in your life. If you know me, you hear me talk about my better half all the time. You hear me mention how she supports me when I make decisions. She helps me look at the worst case scenarios of a possible outcome to determine if the decision that I'm making is a good one. But ultimately, respects it when I make a decision to do something and supports it. And, you know, this morning, I had a hard time sleeping last night. I woke up at about 2 in the morning and I was wide awake. I mean, I could have went running at 2 in the morning. I was wide awake until about 4:30. I started to doze off. So needless to say, when that alarm clock went off, you know, at 5:30, I was absolutely exhausted. Heck, the idea of even getting out of bed just felt impossible. I was actually kicking myself in the butt thinking, man, I should have just gotten up at 2 in the morning, went for a run, came back to the shower and back to bed. And that would have probably worked out better, but I didn't. So I laid in bed and then my girl got up, she made coffee, she did her thing. And then she came over and she came to me and said, "Hey, are you going running this morning?" And I said, "No, I'm exhausted. I didn't get any sleep. I'm tired. You know, we went to bed at like 10:30 and I was up since 2 in the morning. So I was absolutely run down. I didn't feel like I had anything in me." And then she said, you know, a couple of things like, "You're not going to be able to run tonight. We got a lot going on. Your daughter back to school day thing is tonight, and meet the teachers. And there's a few other things that are going on this afternoon, you know, this late afternoon." So I laid there in bed for a minute and I was like, that's okay. I'm going to run late. I'll run at like 10 o'clock at night. It don't matter. I'll get it in there. But as I sat there and I was thinking about all the reasons why I hate running at night, you know, the asphalt being absolutely like a grill because it's been absorbing the heat all day in the sun, and thinking about how tired I was already and how more tired I'm going to be probably tonight because I'm not planning on taking naps. I don't take naps. You know, very seldom do I ever. I must not be feeling good for me to really get any kind of sleep during the day. I try to avoid that as much as I can. But the point to this is, I sat there for about 5 minutes giving it some thought, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do this right now. And I put on my running shoes. I stepped outside, and it was game on. And I went for my run today. It wasn't the best run. I didn't make the extra, you know, half a mile or whatever it is that I have been adding to my run. I didn't do that extra part. I just did the original 1.5 miles. And I tried to run a little faster. There was a kid that was running in front of me, and I tried so hard to catch up with him. He was about 1.5 blocks ahead of me, and I came close. I came to within maybe 3 car lengths before he turned away and went down some other street that I wasn't gonna go down. But I was so frustrated because I feel like had I slept, I would have caught up to him at very least. If I would have just had a little bit longer, I would have caught up to him. But anyway, I try to make it a little fun. I try to make it a little competitive in my mind. Obviously, he didn't know I was racing him. He probably would have dusted me if he would have decided to actually race with me. But at the end of the day, I was just trying to keep my mind distracted because my mind was playing games with me. All they kept telling me was, "Why are you here? You didn't get any sleep. You should really just go back home. This is stupid. So what? Just start all over. It's 365 days. You already got to day 15. What's 15 days going to do to you? 15 days is only going to make it that much better, right? So my mind was trying to even use the positives of getting a reset button going on to get me to give up. I didn't. I went out. I got my run in. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go shower. I'm going to go have some coffee. I'm going to coffee and sugar power my way through the day, probably. But my point is, I don't want you to think that it's easy, but you just have to set your mind to it. And you just have to tell yourself that there is no quitting. Failure is not an option. That's it. Just failure is not an option. And then just go and do it. And for that matter, you know what? That applies to everything. You know, a long time ago, I was outside of a bar talking to a friend of mine, and he was frustrated. He was getting laid off, and he was talking about how he didn't know what he was going to do with his life. And for those of you who know where I worked or who remember any of this time that are watching this video, this is when we were getting laid off from Cisco Systems. One of my buddies, I'm not going to disclose his name here, but he was pretty worried about it. And I looked at him and I said, hey, you have the biggest opportunity of your life right now. And he said, what is that? And I said, think about what you want to do right now. Think about if you could do anything, what would you do? And he said, I wouldn't mind becoming a chef. I actually enjoy cooking and I think I would really love that. And I said, well, then go and do it. That's it. Just go and do it. When I was younger, you know, I fell in love with mixing music. I could spend hours in front of my tables and just spin music and just mix music and try different mixes and challenge myself to mix different genres or whatever. And when I decided that I wanted to host events and DJ, I just went and did it. I just went and did it. I just looked for the people that I needed to network with, and I just did it. When I decided that I wanted to go learn how to build motorcycles, I just moved to Phoenix and I just did it. I just decided and I just did it. And somewhere along the line between the time that I moved to Phoenix and now, I sort of had lost it about myself. Life just kind of got really complicated for me for a while. And I feel like gradually over the last 5 years, I have slowly been gravitating to that person that I used to be. You know, I feel like I was kind of moving in that direction, but then I lost my mom, and it kind of put a halt on it kind of slowed me down on that migration that was happening in my mind. And thanks to my buddy Evan, you know, he put this book in my hand, and it kind of got me thinking about who I used to be. It kind of got me reflecting on how I never really thought about things like they weren't possible. I've always believed that whatever you set your mind to, you can do. So just whatever it is that you want to challenge yourself for 365 days, just do it. You will be amazingly surprised at what could happen to you mentally if you tell yourself, I'm just going to do it. If you want to go start a business, go do it. Go start doing the research. Everything is a process. Go find out what you need to find out to do it. Go find out what kind of support you need to do it. If you want to lose weight, just do it. Just set your mind, push yourself through the pain, and do it. If you want to eat healthier, then just start doing it. Just set your mind to doing it. That's it. It's all right here. It's all right there. We have the power to be and become anything we want. There were two brothers that decided that they wanted to fly like birds, and you know what? Everybody thought they were crazy. But today, there's millions of people right now in the sky. There is actually a space station where people are actually living right now. How crazy is that? You look up at your sky and there's people out there in outer space that are living in the sky. And it all started with these two brothers that decided that they liked the fact that birds used to fly and they wanted to fly. And the entire world looked at them like they were absolutely stupid and retarded and crazy, that they were thinking that they could fly like a bird. But you know what? We're flying. You can take a taxi to the moon today if you can afford it, right? So don't let anything or anyone tell you that you can't do whatever it is you set your mind to. Just set your mind to. Start with the 365-day challenge. This is one more day that's gone. One less day that I have to do to complete my challenge. And I can't wait to see where I end up at the end of the day. All right, man. At the end of the year, I guess I should say. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I hope my words inspire you. If you like these videos and you want to follow my journey, click that subscribe button. Peace. Have a good day.